As in a mirror, the history of civilization is reflected in our clothes. Now, it is more than the second skin, and fashion and style have become a way of self-expression. It is absolutely in style of the Kazakhs to see a deep symbolism, speak through things, objects, and rituals and material surrounding. Therefore, the history of national costume is a wonderful world, revealing our mentality. Any respecting fashionista knows that any stylish look does not do without accessories. These are they that allow women to underline their individuality, making the look tasty and unusual. The most eminent persons of fashion world insist on the importance of ornamentals. The director of WGSN, which is a leading company in the field of world fashion trends forecasting, Lizzie Bowring, argues that ornamentals have been the main detail of the look for the last few years. Donatella Versace adheres to a similar opinion, recalling that it is pointless to invest money only in clothes, as it is still impossible to create a bright image without ornamentals. So what does jewelry must-have of recent years look like? Perhaps it is more extraordinary than ever. On podium, oversized earrings, brooches in the form of insects with decoration made of Swarovski iridescent stones, fur bracelets, and cute boho accessories in the form of lace with bone figures. Large medallions and pendants rule the day. Designers revived fashion to coral and in general took a favorable view of the emphasized craft, ornamental with stones or their imitation. As for framing, this season silver is more popular than gold, so it is worth to choose silver or platinum jewelry or gold products made with white metal. However, it is better to forget about pink and yellow gold in the near future. This trend caught Kazakh fashionistas' fancy, who increasingly turn to the roots and choose silver, which is the sacred for all Turkic peoples. In the old days, when guests came to the house, first they looked at the hand of the daughter-in-law. If there was no silver ring on her or any other silver jewelry, they did not touch the food. It was thought that the girl's hands are unclean without silver. Therefore, silver really symbolizes so many sacred things. Even if you watch movies, remember how powerful weapons were, silver bullets. All this comes from the belief that silver drives off evil forces and disinfects. And least of all, it is used as an ornamental. The history of this unique metal is quite remarkable. The inhabitants of Babylon and Assyria revered it as a symbol of the moon they deified. It was silver that served as a key material for the world's first coins. And in the Middle Ages, argentum and its compounds excited the minds of alchemists. It is not surprising that this piety has been preserved in later cultures. For example, the women of one of the Turkic peoples, the Bashkirs, preferred not to leave the house without a full silver vestment, which weighed a few dozen kilograms on average. Before going to milk the cow, the girl put on all her best jewelry made of silver. This is primarily double bracelets, which girls wore on both hands, with the same design with open ends. They put on earrings, rings, finger rings, and such a colorful product as a breast collar. It was decorated with corals, various plaques, and silver coins. Married women wore such a headdress on their head, something in the form of a cap called kashmao, and it was decorated with silver coins. If you count the total, it turns out that Bashkir women went to milk the cows and mares in silver uniforms weighing 20 kilograms. First, this is because the Bashkir people were already well known at the time with the antiseptic properties of silver, and it was also believed that it scared away the evil spirits. For example, if the girl's silver became black, either a bracelet or a silver coin, it meant that silver saved her from evil spirits or took some of her illness on itself. If you delve into ethnography, then similar beliefs and preferences can be found among the overwhelming majority of Turkic people. Thus, not a single Yakut holiday could do without the dazzling brilliance of women's silver jewelry. Numerous bracelets, huge earrings, and massive neck chest pendant ornaments were the favorite accessories of both young girls and respectable women who supported the trends of fashion and traditions. They wore torks, chest decorations, which were much more massive than alka or tumar worn by our Kazakh women and girls. These torks reached the waist, they were very wide, and characteristically, such a decoration was worn not only from the front, but also from the back. To tell the truth, it was more tight from the back. These products were necessary in order to cover the spine, back from evil spirits and glances. That is, a double silver protection was created. They also had sholpas, pendants, and earrings. And they developed the cult of blizik and rings, less because they mostly wore the sleeves. And they wore chest ornaments called torks everywhere over the top of clothing. Yakut men dress more modestly, limited to a leather belt decorated with silver plates. It is noteworthy that as much as the Yakuts love silver, they despise gold as much. It was believed that it was too similar to copper or brass, and therefore it looks poor and unworthy. In this regard, silver worship is also very strongly developed in Russian culture. In general, we are talking about the Kazakhs and the Russians. It is still the existing tribal alliances, and therefore we cannot divide them much and somehow say that we are different from other nations. Because the Jewish people have similar beliefs, and recently I read about the Moldovan culture. They also have very similar perceptions of the moon and silver. That is, we return to the thesis that many nations of the world have similar moments of worshipping the moon. And Chokan Valihanov noted in his writings, he wrote that the Turks worship the sun, the moon, and the stars. Moreover, they made a bow to the moon when it appeared in the sky. This is again observed in many nations, not only among the Kazakhs. They had to greet the sun in the morning and worship the moon. To make a bow, that is, there were such ancient preferences. Moreover, this is a very important point. But it was known to specialists, and over the years ordinary people developed the habit that the ancestors of modern Kazakhs wore mostly gold. In many ways, it was formed due to finds from the Issyk burial mound, within which more than 4,000 gold items were discovered. However, we should not forget that this was the burial place of a noble warrior. Ordinary people could not afford such excesses, and as we now know, they wore more affordable, sacred silver. For the first time, I heard about silver jewelry from Gulfairuz Ismailova. It was a very beautiful woman and a famous artist, and she casually told the story of how she acted in Kazakh film. At that time, people greatly respected and trusted filmmakers, so much so that local women and grandmothers brought their family jewelry for the filming. And Gulfairuz made an inventory of these riches in order to return them to the owners. Moreover, for the first time I heard from Gulfairuz that mainly the jewelry of Kazakh women were made of silver. I was surprised then and asked if there was not enough gold. She replied that it was not only because of this. Somehow, it just happened in the steppe that this moonlight of silver was more fascinating. Moreover, in fact, then I made sure several times that most of the jewelry in Kazakh costumes was made of silver. It is noteworthy that the theme of silver jewelry was special for Gulfairuz Ismailova. During the period of collectivization, her family lived starving, and in order to survive, her grandma Khalida gradually took all the family treasures to the merchant's shop. Ismailova remembered how she had dreamed that when she grows up, these jewels would shine in her braids. She remembered how she admired them and enjoyed the noble weight of bracelets. However, she had no chance to wear these precious things. Only years later, playing the role of Ayagos, the mother of Kazakh, Gulfairuz Ismailova managed to at least partially fulfill that innermost children's desire. Earrings are one of the most popular jewelry of Kazakh women. They can be in the form of the moon with stones and charms, pointed and domed. And the longer they are, the more valuable they are. Earrings were worn a little girl very early. She wore something simple. This was done so that she would not hear someone's whisper, voice from other worlds. And the second, it was also a guarding function. Silver rings were an obligatory element of women's attire. They cleaned the hands both literally and metaphorically. The pride of each Kazakh woman, her long braids, were also richly decorated with silver, which created a pleasant chime while moving. Buckles and fasteners, charms, massive ornamentals on the neck, everything was made of silver. Exactly like bracelets, another very common accessory. There were always bracelets on both hands of a Kazakh woman. They were different depending on woman's position. For example, daughter-in-law could not wear large, massive bracelets because they would keep her from doing numerous daily duties. A bracelet in itself means a lock interfering with various evils to enter through the palms. When the bracelets were worn, they used to say such words, "Kol oneri bulsun." That is, let your hands be creative. And whatever you touch, let it always be for the good of others. And then by weight, width, and height, the ornamentals differed depending on how old a woman was. Little girls in general were worn thin rods. The girl is still small. She cannot wear such large weights on her wrist. So you look, and it is clear that what a bracelet is and the age. Talking of bracelets, a few years earlier, the Danish brand Pandora came to Kazakhstan jewelry market and literally made the fashionistas crazy. Having a bracelet with at least a pair of silver charms has become for many almost a vital necessity. Over the years, this interest has not weakened. Moreover, it promoted several Central Asian jewelers to give this form of national flavor and make charms in Kazakh style. Each buyer, taking a jewelry as a gift, wants to see some meaning in it. He wants to know what a particular jewelry means, what symbolizes its color and pattern. Accordingly, I began to wonder what to create for buyers that it was native, recognizable, and in national style, and at the same time modern, fashionable, stylish. And I realized that one of the trends in jewelry fashion is symbolism. Therefore, tiny silver yurts, Asiki, Tumari, and Saukilya were born. Lezat, the founder of the brand, advises wearing 3 to 4 charms on one bracelet, paying tribute to the trend of multi-layer, which came to us in 2017 and reliably settled in the wardrobe of fashionistas. However, single charm looks very elegant and original. However, you have to choose them wisely. From the earliest times, protective properties to such charms have been attributed, and therefore it is necessary to buy exactly what is lacking. If you want to get married, take Saukilya. If you need comfort in the house, buy a yurt. They say that the magic of silver has not yet failed. Yes, they are very popular among Kazakhstan girls. And buying Kazakh charms, they revive the traditions and customs of our ancestors. College girls buy the charms very often. And even people who often work abroad, thereby promoting our country abroad. Recently, I had an order. The girl lived in Kazakhstan up to 15 years, and she had been living in Germany for more than 10 years. She has a wedding soon, and she chose my charms in national style as gifts for the bridesmaids. This is a charm of the 21st century's fashion. We can combine and mix, stylize, change places, and wear jewelry as it deems necessary. However, in the old days, women could not afford such luxury. After all, the jewelry served as a sort of business card, or even more like a passport. It determined not only the age and social status, but but also marital status, place of residence, and clan from which their mistress originates. Here is a bracelet of southern Kazakhstan in front of you. It shows a floral ornament, animal world, everything that happens in everyday life in this region. All this is displayed here. For example, this upper part symbolizes Ulitao Mountains, or as they are also called, Uli Ana. Such patterns also emphasizes the status of the owner. In this product, I put the stones instead of traditional grain. It is a more modern solution. But in any case, the value of one, it is the offspring. This detail shows how many grandchildren and great-grandsons she has. That is, emphasizes that the continuation of the generation goes on. If you look at Kazakh women in fineries, captured on old photographs, a comparison with the warrior's vestment involuntarily comes to mind. Bracelets are bracers, a breast collar is a chest plate, and saukle is a helmet. Among many nations, the most vivid form of national costume expression is a wedding dress. And in this case, saukle, the headdress of the bride, was preparing almost from childhood. The father specially ordered such a headdress and, over time, according to the degree of wealth or opportunity, the gems were plated into it. And, of course, there were various silver jewelry that were sewn on saukle. Well, it is clear that earrings, bracelets, rings are made of silver. I really had the impression that the wedding dress of the bride is the same as the knight's vestments. It was hardly possible to fight in this form. However, what the sacred vestment similar to military is connected with? It turns out that she is ready to fight, to some open confrontation, but against what? Against some kind of envy, self-interest. And in this sense, all this ornamental, especially breast ornamental, is protection from the evil eye, envy, again. In this respect, on the one hand, this is protection, and on the other hand, in addition to this, emphasizing beauty, girlish beauty, by the element of patterns, ornaments. I think all this served as a solid, powerful protective charm, talisman. With good reason, the bride has to wear saukle for a whole year, exactly like some protective cone from other people's influence. After all, as in the wedding ceremonies, the notion of a stranger and a native is just the fear. The fear that, for example, a bride will come to this house and can destroy the happiness of this house and vice versa. She can be lost in someone else's camp. And this is a threshold state, the boundaries of the transition from one status to another. And it has always been accompanied by certain protective rituals and magic. In this regard, silver acted as such a powerful talisman. Through the years, we became more pragmatic, and for us all, ornamentals from protective charm turned into accessories. Even the older generation do not wear heavy classical kits. Moreover, jewelers are going for different gimmicks to heighten the buyer's interest in national ornamentals. Today in program, we wanted to show you how process of national jewelry production. They are not quite traditional, but trendy. These silver jewelry with enamel. This technology has been known since 1400 BC and has always been highly valued. It stood on the same level as inlaid with precious stones and even competed with them in beauty. Previously, enamels were available only to the privileged class. An excellent example of this is the Farbridge Jewelry Egg series, which is decorated with enamel. However, with the development of jewelry technologies, the product with enamel became much more accessible, and the addition of national motifs made them more popular than ever. We have these products usually lighter, more everyday. Somewhere we certainly use sharper, more contrasting colors. Such products can emphasize some appearance. But our main focus is to ensure that they are suitable for everyday wear. Some were modest, light, elegant. In Kazakhstan, there are several large enterprises that produce silver jewelry with enamel in national style. Clear and concise zoomorphic, vegetative, geometrical, and cosmogonic Kazakh ornaments are ideally combined with bright glossy enamel. Of course, we divide products by age categories. Younger girls tend to prefer suburban, flat products with small, medium-sized inserts. They are very bright, prominent, eye-catching. Also, customers' needs can be distinguished by regions of Kazakhstan. The West loves bigger, heavier things. They have more grains in the ornaments. The South prefers vegetative ornamentation, lighter, smaller items. If we're talking about jewelry made of enamel, then they are more preferred by customers from the cities of Nur-Sultan and Almaty. A set of jewelry with enamel most often consists of only two objects, a ring and a pair of earrings. And this is really enough. If you want a multi-layer, then designers are calling to create it by adding scattered jewelry to the image, distantly echoing each other. By the way, geometry is also in trend, which again brings us back to the traditional forms of Kazakh jewelry. The product that we made today has a triangular shape. Duk ornament was taken as a basis. For contrast, we just applied here colored and transparent enamels. This product has very well established itself at the recent jewelry exhibition, and our customers liked it. Such products are usually called jewelry ethnic. That is, more smooth, fashionable stylization with folk elements. It is much easier to interlace it with a daily look than classic national ornamentals. They are equally suitable for office style and fashionable evening dress. Today, in our republic, national products are gaining demand. Until recently, the products of national character were more related to souvenirs and gifts. Today, more and more often, it is possible to see national ornaments and patterns, not only gold work. They are gaining popularity. And it touched jewelry. Starting from young girls and ending with grandmothers, everywhere you can meet women in national ornamentals. Similarly, they're gaining great popularity abroad. We hear it in reviews of foreigners at exhibitions. They say our products are unique. The patterns of the Kazakhs that have been preserved for centuries underline the peculiarities of the national color. By the way, as to foreigners, it is a simple truth. The experts of beauty from all over the world come to Kazakhstan and buy unique Kazakh jewelry. Europeans love ethnic handmade accessories and even reproach the local population for not appreciating the work of Kazakh craftsmen. Foreign visitors of Expo 2017 were surprised by low prices of jewelry. The fact that we sell for $100 in Kazakhstan, in Europe would even buy for an amount many times higher than the original price tag, and this is not an isolated example. You know, relatively recently, in February, I participated in Christmas exhibition, which was arranged by the U.S. Embassy. There were many foreign guests who found out with great curiosity what ornamental meant, with what customs it was connected. They bought them for their relatives, and ornamentals were taken away as gifts to their homeland. It was pleasurable. Well, eternal dispute, gold or silver again, submitted in favor of the last. And it is right, at least for us, representatives of the Turkic world, anciently honoring this lunar metal.